everybody, today we're going to be making 3 different comfort foods from all over the world. The first one we're going to have a slow cooker beef and potato curry. The second we're going to have an Italian chickenless chicken noodle soup, and my favorite Midwestern deep dish baked beans. And in the theme of all things comfort, I've got on my big warm sweater and my sidekick, the Cool Lime Refresher, fancy with light ice. I'm not really sure what I would do without it.
You are basic, I can tell. You love Starbucks, always on your cell.
Okay, so let's get started. The final dish that I'll be making today is deep dish baked beans. And you're probably wondering, where the heck does one eat deep dish baked beans? And if you come to the Midwest, you'll see that we eat them anywhere. We eat them at potlucks, we eat them at church dinners, we have them at friends' birthday parties, and they're really popular on the 4th of July as well, just because it's a dish that everybody knows and everybody loves. So what goes into this dish? You saw in my last recipe that I was chopping up half an onion for the soup, and while I was chopping away, I just finished off the entire white onion, and I've added that to a pan. It's simmering off now with the beef. Next, we have our butter beans, our pork and beans, ketchup, barbecue sauce, and mustard. And you'll notice one thing that I'm eliminating from this dish that's usually popular in deep dish baked beans is brown sugar. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm trying to scale back the sugar. Let's head over to the stove to get on to our next step of adding all of this together and baking it so we can try it out. Let's go. So the beef and onions are almost done, and while they're still cooking down here, I'm going to add in our butter beans just so they can absorb some of that flavor in there. And what I've done is just drain them and rinse them out. Let those cook in. And you can play with the different beans that you use too. If you don't find a butter bean, you can use a black bean. Any kind of bean works in this dish.
Dial 1-900-MIX-A-LOT and kick them nasty thoughts.
Add a little salt and pepper. Give it one last spin. And we're good to start adding our other ingredients now. Let me grab them real quick. So as you remember, we have our ketchup. So you're going to be looking about half a cup of ketchup. You can just eyeball it or you can measure it out, whichever you prefer. About a 1/4 cup of barbecue sauce, or if you do prefer it sweet, you can add just a little more. And then we have our yellow mustard, about a tablespoon of that. And give those a mix here. If you do want to make this into a veggie alternative, instead of using meat, you can use quinoa or rice. Just as long as you have all these flavors of the barbecue, onion, and the ketchup, you're good to really add anything into this dish. And then we'll add the baked beans here. It smells so good. I could just dive into it right now, honestly. I'm just going to add a little bit more ketchup. Remember, we are looking for sweet in this dish, but not a cup of brown sugar sweet. Okay, and then just going to let them sit on the stovetop for about 3 to 5 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab our baking dish that we'll be putting these beans in. What I've done is transfer the beans from the pan into how they got their name, a deep dish. So you just put the beans and beef into a casserole dish, put your oven at 350, and you'll throw them in there for about 10 to 15 minutes until the liquids are boiling. And what you can do after that is leave them out to cool and then put them in the refrigerator or just eat them right away. Like I said, I eat them throughout the week when I'm at work, so it's really a perfect dish for any occasion and any time you want to eat them. Wonderful. I hope you guys have enjoyed these 3 classic comfort dishes from all around the world.